Welcome to the Explainer. So, you're looking at expanding your life, or maybe your business, to the UAE. It's incredibly thrilling, right up until you hit that formidable mountain of required paperwork. You know the feeling. Well, today, we're tackling the absolute final boss of that bureaucratic video game. We are demystifying MOFA Attestation.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our four-part roadmap to conquering the process. First, demystifying MOFA Attestation. Second, the three-step document journey. Third, document types and costs. And finally, fast-tracking your attestation.
Now, you might be wondering what actually unlocks a UAE visa. I mean, sure, a great job offer or a solid business plan gets your foot in the door. But legally, your life is basically on pause until your paperwork proves who you are. Without solving this specific puzzle, getting a family visa, a job, or a business license is practically impossible.
So let's start with Section 1, demystifying MOFA Attestation, the final hurdle to your UAE journey.
Before we start organizing files, we really need to decode the government jargon, right? MOFA Attestation is the authentication stage by the UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it confirms that a document is legally accepted in the UAE. And I want you to notice the emphasis on the word final here. This isn't just another rubber stamp. This is the ultimate, absolute, final stage of legalization. It's the ultimate stamp of approval.
What's really fascinating is how this single bureaucratic step touches literally every aspect of your UAE dream. Think about it. You can't sponsor your kids or spouse without attested marriage and birth certificates. You can't start that amazing new corporate job without an attested degree. Want to register a company? Same story. Every single major life milestone in the Emirates hinges completely on this.
Moving on to Section 2, the three-step document journey from your home country to the UAE.
Let's see how this builds. To really grasp this, I want you to mentally track a physical piece of paper from your hometown. It doesn't just magically jump straight to the UAE. First, step 1, you need local verification by a notary or issuing authority back in your home country. Then, step 2, it has to be legalized at the UAE embassy in that same home country. Only after all that can you finally hit step 3, the final MOFA attestation inside the UAE itself. It is a very precise, rigid chain of trust.
Now, if you've done this in the past, you might notice that the UAE has heavily modernized this whole system. The old system used this physical green circular seal stamped directly onto the paper itself. But the new system? It's a digital attestation stamp, complete with a QR code and a really sophisticated security barcode. And while both versions are totally valid right now, this new digital format is a real game changer. It allows government authorities and employers to just scan it and do instant, secure online verification. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, so what do you actually need physically in your hands? It's short and sweet. You need the original documents, no copies here, it has to be the originals, a clear copy of your passport, and a valid Emirates ID or a copy of your UAE visa. That's it. Just mentally check those off your to-do list right now.
Let's get into Section 3, document types and costs, or in other words, what you actually need to pay. This is probably the most critical, practical aspect for most of us. How your documents are categorized directly dictates the cost, and this brilliantly illustrates the difference. On one side, we have personal and educational documents, things like birth certificates, degrees, marriage licenses. On the other side, we have commercial documents, trade licenses, company contracts. As you'll see, the government fees for these two categories are vastly different.
Let's focus on that first number, 153 dirhams. To put that into perspective, if you're a student trying to get your degree recognized or a family moving over, the financial barrier for that standard life paperwork is kept intentionally quite reasonable and manageable. Huge relief there.
But look at this jump, 2,048 dirhams. If you are bringing a business to the UAE, commercial documents cost significantly more. Seriously, if you have a massive stack of corporate contracts, you absolutely must factor this steep government fee into your initial setup budget, or you are going to be in for a rough surprise.
All right, Section 4, fast-tracking your attestation by using private assistance services.
Up until now, we've talked a lot about the strict, sometimes completely tedious requirements of this whole ordeal. So what is the solution if you're pulling your hair out and short on time? Well, let's set a baseline expectation first. Standard MOFA attestation usually takes about 1 to 3 working days, and remember, that is assuming your home country paperwork is already perfectly completed without a single error.
But what if you're up against a hard deadline and you just can't wait?
This is where private services like Amazon Attestation UAE come into play. They offer a VIP same-day timeline. Imagine this. They collect your document in the morning from your house or office. By midday, they're doing the heavy lifting, coordinating directly with MOFA. And by evening, the fully attested document is back at your door. It literally removes the entire headache of navigating those government centers yourself.
So the crucial point here is that providers like Amazon Attestation Services are independent. They aren't the government themselves. Rather, they are experts at navigating the government on your behalf. They've got over 8 years of experience, they support documents from over 150 countries, and they just absorb all that logistical nightmare. Plus, they offer completely transparent pricing and free delivery across the major Emirates like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, so you aren't hit with any random hidden charges.
Which leaves us with one vital final question. Are your documents actually ready for the journey? Getting this authentication flawless is the literal key to unlocking your new life or business in the Emirates. Don't let bureaucratic red tape slow down your dreams. Take a look at your paperwork, weigh your options, and make your move. Thanks so much for exploring this with us today.